And so what are some of the pitfalls that maybe some businesses might run into when they're looking at distribution?
Yeah, they're constantly underestimating, believe it or not, the ease of it or the importance of it. It's execution. Execution is so very important, but if it's not on shelf, it's not for sale.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Marion Roberts juice if it's not on shelf.
Right.
So distribution trusts us, and so does retail, and our team is incredible.
Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, ulcerative proctitis, proctosigmoiditis, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease. If you've heard any of these words from your doctor before, you probably know this look and this feeling. First Wave Biopharma is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company specializing in the development of targeted, non-systemic therapies for gastrointestinal diseases. Using frontline cutting-edge research, First Wave Biopharma is here to help you have less of this and more of this. First Wave Biopharma.
You're watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burke Godwin. We are talking with employment attorney Annie Ellis, and we are talking about specifically this Fast Food Accountability and Standards Recovery Act, the Fast Food Act, essentially.
Yep.
That California is charging the way, as we many times do in these types of arenas. They're going to raise the minimum wage up to potentially $22, you said, as of January 1st. Mm-hmm. Well, not as of. Starting January 1st.
They have the right to do it.
The right to do it, okay. And do they have to run it by this group of 10 people, or?
They just have to do a vote, 6 or more,
okay.
And then it will take effect.
Okay, got it. So what are some of the reactions that you're hearing from business owners and what you foresee?
A lot of fear. I mean, when you're planning for a substantial increase in minimum wage like this, that's a big bottom line, especially in an industry where margins are already really low. And I'm certainly not an expert on the franchise model relationship, but I would predict that those relationships have limits on how much they can raise the prices.
Right.
I think we can all know that the cost of food right now is already outrageous. This is just going to cause it to go up even more. And if they're not able to raise the rates to account for the increased labor, they're going to start losing substantial amounts of money.
Yeah, I'm already definitely seeing, I did a little Taco Bell run recently, I think it was, with my daughter, and I thought, what, it was like $30. And I thought, what the heck? You know, it was probably, she got the churro and the large drink, and it was just.
Crunchy Taco Supreme is like $2 now,
right? It's going up all over the place. So definitely we as consumers are going to see that in our pocketbook.
Yeah,
because that's where it has to come from.
It's going to trickle down. I mean, you can't raise prices and not expect someone to have to pay that price, and ultimately it's going to get passed on to us.
And so McDonald's, I'm reading and hearing that they are kind of leading the charge to fight this. Is that correct?
Yeah, one of the things they had a strong objection to, and I tend to agree, is that language in the statute that we were just talking about. It's basically the labor code saying this is a bad industry and you're bad employers, and that's just not a really fair way to approach this. Mm-hmm. But also, you know, the CEO came out with a really great statement, in my opinion. We're not opposed to increased minimum wage and more protections. It's the manner in which you did it. Unelected officials don't have accountability. We need to make sure that we follow the standard procedures on how we raise minimum wage and follow laws in not just this state, but every state.
It seems fairly arbitrary. It's like, how are these people, who are they picked, how are they picked, and who are they, and why are they making this decision for all these other business owners?
It's a lot of questions. I'm certainly curious to see who is going to get appointed and what that process is going to look like, because the way the bill reads right now, there's not a lot of information about that.
Well, we're going to have to have you back to talk about this once those people, they'll be picked in the next 4 months before January 1st.
I would think so.
Okay, so I want to segue to the jobs report. So things are looking better, is what I'm hearing for jobs in the job market.
I guess better. Who do you mean for which side? Yeah. So the economic uncertainty that we're seeing, across the nation, what's that done is sort of flipped the bargaining power in the job market. So for months, actually, I would argue even several years, the employees have had the bargaining power. It has been the applicant's job market.
Yeah.
But now employers are saying, you want to negotiate for that big pay lateral increase? You want to negotiate for working from home? Sorry, no deal here. Go to the next guy. And I think that's going to be good. The industry generally, the job industry, needs that sort of shift to sort of balance the power that's been I guess, in favor of employees for too long.
So do you think that employers are pulling away from allowing people to work remotely? You know, we all kind of had to, or we all did have to in 2020, starting then. And now it's been a thing where people are getting used to it. They're seeing they can be productive. But then are people taking too much leeway, and business owners are maybe seeing, well, you're going to get more work done if you're here?
I think it depends on the industry. So take my industry, for example. I mean, we're kind of a silo practice industry anyway. You go sit in an office, type, do a computer. You can do that anywhere, and you have a accountability measure of billable hours.
Yes.
But when you look at other industries, you know, sales, finance, insurance, I do think there is a big push now to get people back in the office because productivity is not where it has been. And what I have seen in the last 2 months, which I haven't seen in the last 2 years, is more layoffs. So employers are looking at bottom lines. They are saying we brought in people at too high cost, negotiated all these new hires, and we just don't need them. So we're trimming the fat.
So are, you know, these younger generations that have been maybe coming in wanting a higher salary, you know, kind of asking for more, because I think that's the trend. Are employers now saying, sorry, we're not going to be able to give that to you. You're going to start a little bit lower.
Yeah, I mean, you got college kids straight out of college. I mean, the paint is still wet on their degree, and they're like, I need to make $100,000. And $100,000 is a lot of money, but it's not what it used to be. But still, that entitlement factor of the recruiters on these campuses are telling them that the job market's in their favor and they can negotiate for this. But that's going to change, and it's already started to.
That's a good thing. I think that's a good sign for business owners, for sure, and put the power kind of back with them, and the negotiation is not so much. And there's
lopsided.
more people that are looking for work because it was, you know, oh, the great resignation and we're just going to leave if we're not happy. But then they're thinking, oh, wait, but I still need to put food on the table.
I do think there's a lot more hesitation to run from one job to another. I think we've all seen in the last couple years that there's been those lateral moves, negotiations, but now it's, I don't know if I can get what I want from negotiating on this new employer, and I better make sure I do a good job here because I don't want to be subject to a layoff.
And, you know, are business owners, you know, seeking advice from attorneys in this situation too? Like, how do I write this into the contract and all of that?
Constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, I do a lot of litigation, but a lot of my practice involves looking at offer letters, doing employment agreements, and determining who should be part of a reduction in force or a layoff. And that's been keeping me very busy the last couple of months.
Oh, I bet. Well, thank you. As always, you're a wealth of knowledge and a lot of important information. I mean, this bill might be going to other states across the country. Hopefully not, right? We think.
Hopefully not. But
Annie Ellis, employment lawyer, thank you so much for being here. And thank you everyone at home for tuning into America Trends. As always, we love being with you every night at 10 p.m. And you can find us on social media if you miss us at America Trends TV. And we'll see you again tomorrow night.